Hey everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk Sunday Social. It's been a while. We didn't do one last week, and I've not done 2 Tuesday shows because we were at Wind Up last week, or Mark and I were at Wind Up. But hopefully, we've got a good show for you today. Welcome to everyone in the comments. Welcome to the panel. As always, shall we kick it off with a wristwatch check? Mark, let's go for it.
So I have the rather out of focus green Seamaster.
Oh yeah,
it was there you go, focusing on it earlier. My favorite Seamaster. The green goes from sort of a Lincoln green down to black depending on the lighting, and I rather like this one. Definitely my favorite Seamaster.
oh yeah, it is a beauty. Dave, you're up next. What are you wearing?
Dave is wearing his
Oh, beautiful.
ultra deep, which is not as ridiculously sized as you might think it is, although it is when you look at it that way.
Thick baby.
It gets a bit thunk, yeah. But yeah, actually, I've not got huge wrists. I mean, my wrists are about 6.5 inch, something like that. So it's not ridiculous, you know. But yeah, I love it. It's a cool watch, but it is a bit. It's friendly for door checks, put it that way. It enjoys them. They don't enjoy it so much. And it's one of the few watches that I actually think works on it well. It only works on a NATO, but I hate NATOs as a general rule. But this is actually very comfy on a NATO. Doesn't kind of wobble about.
And it just helps it look that couple of millimeters taller as well.
Absolutely. But the weird thing is, it's like most watches rattle around, but because of this kind of manta lug thing that they use, which if I take it off, you can probably see it. Oh Christ! It's now like undoing a bondage session.
Well, anybody watching this in 4K on their Apple TV is.
Yeah, we go. Right, here we go. So I like there's some nice wee attention to detail bits on it as well, which I'll show you. But yeah, the lug is a bit weird. Like here.
Look at this. Oh yeah, the mantle.
So they're split here as well. But the nice little thing is they've kind of mimicked it on the lug as well.
Oh, that's cool. That is a nice detail. Yeah.
So it's just a nice wee bit of kind of attention to detail there, where they've kind of done it. So yeah, cool thing.
Cool.
So that's what I'm wearing.
Excellent. Okay, Thomas, welcome. Yeah. What are we wearing? What are you wearing?
I'm sticking with the Halloween theme, so I've got a Mr. Jones number cruncher. It's a jump hour, so he's got holding the hour in his hand, and the minutes go around in his stomach. So,
that's really cool.
Just a little model thing.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? That so it's a little quartz number.
No, it's a seagull movement, I think. I believe. But yeah, Mr. Jones did some fun watches, some really fun ones, some good Halloween ones. So cool. Check the site out. Yeah.
Oh, nice. On trend as well. On theme. Patrick, what are you wearing?
Well, in theme of ugly-ish watches, I'm not wearing a wristwatch, but I've got my a King Seiko pocket watch.
Oh,
and
nice!
It's a very interesting case. It's kind of like the Grand Seikos that they've made recently, where they're doing all that individual sort of, I don't know, carving, but it's got a really interesting dial that kind of a similar thing. And the difference is you stick this in your pocket and pretty much this little weight holds it in there. So
that's interesting.
Kind of like a pocket watch that doesn't need a full chain, but I was guilty of going to a wedding yesterday, so it gave me an excuse to pull out a pocket watch. So it's still sitting on the desk.
Was it a wedding? Did you know the person at the wedding, or was it just an opportunity to wear the pocket watch? You just
show up at weddings randomly.
Yeah.
So I never get to wear clothes that aren't t-shirts and scrubs, so it's fun to have a chance to wear something at least nice.
Awesome. I actually was. I realized just before this that I was wearing my watch that I was just wearing in the day. I was going to swap it over, but actually I've been wearing this today. It's a G-Shock, but I've been watching the Mission Impossible films, and I realized I hadn't watched them all back to back, and I realized how bad number 2 was and how good number 3 was, and this is the one he wears in number 3. So I'm gonna do the kiss of death for a YouTuber. I'm going to make a video about a watch that I'm interested in, and see if anybody watches
Don't
it.
do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do a video on a watch that I'm interested in. So I will. So look out for a Mission Impossible 3 watch review that nobody asked for, but you're getting it. Awesome. Well, it's a joke. Or I appreciate. Actually, before I say that, hello to everyone who said hello to me at watch time. Thank you very much. It was really nice to meet you, and also it was amusing that when I kept telling my wife, "Look, I told you I was famous," and she's like, "You're not famous." I'm like, "Well, I mean, these people are recognizing me." So everyone that I saw at watch time and wind up, really great to meet you. Thank you, everyone who came up and said hi. Also, Mark as well. Mark was there as well.
I was there, and I even got recognized too. So that was a bit of a shock. I wasn't expecting that. So yes, hello to everybody we met at Wind Up and Watch Time.
It was great to meet everyone. Great to meet everyone. Okay, well, today's episode is all going to be about watches for Halloween. So these are either scary watches that are made to be scary, or scary watches that are just scary without unintentionally scary. So we're going to kick this off. This was actually Thomas's subject. So Thomas, thank you very much for sending this over. So let's get started. We've each picked 4 watches, between 3 and 4 watches, and we're going to talk a little bit about why they make the perfect Halloween watch. So Dave, I'm gonna hit you up first, if that's okay. And this is your first pick, which was the Swatch. It's spooky time.
Swatch doing what they do best, to be honest with you. The good thing about Swatch watches, for most people, they're relatively inexpensive. They're relatively accessible if you take out the whole moon swatch thing. But, as a by and large, there's pretty much, if they release it, you can get one if you want one. And they're really good at doing Halloween watches. They're actually pretty good at doing most holiday type watches, so Valentine's or Christmas or Halloween or whatever it happens to be, and they always do something a little bit different, and they kind of mess about with them. And I think this is this year's actually, and I think they've done a pretty good job with it, to be honest. Not the biggest fan of the big bolts because they are big watches, to be honest, but they're always good and they're always really playful for what they do. I think in the UK this is about 104 quid, something like that. So if you want to, I guess, have a watch that's thematic without spending a fortune on a watch you'll probably actually wear maybe once a year, then Swatch is one of the ones that's a bit of a fail-safe. You can always go for it and it's not going to break the bank, and you end up with something that you sits in a cupboard for 364 days a year. Yeah,
they are really cool. And I think this is the one watch that nearly everyone else on the panel picked as well. I think, Patrick, you had this, didn't you? And Thomas, you had this on your list.
Beat us to it.
Yeah. So I love
the eyes that go around. They're just great, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks really cool. And these are big, aren't they? I hadn't seen one of these, Dave, before last weekend.
Yeah, the big bolts are it's a chunky beast, that has to be said. But to be fair, I guess if you look at what is the Gents watch, which they call just Swatch called Gent series, the original size, they're tiny nowadays. I think they're like 34, 36 millimeters, something like that. So they are actually really small. And new Gent, which is the slightly bigger version, it even looks pretty small compared to these. But I guess that's kind of more where Swatch are at, which is the bulk of the range is very much fashion orientated lines. So this kind of falls into theme with that, and it gives you a bit more surface to play with. So I think for a watch like this is a good choice.
Yeah, they're not even hiding that. Even on their hand model, it looks really large. So I'm surprised they didn't pick someone with a bigger wrist just to tone it down a bit. But yeah, it's a really cool watch.
Yeah, I think wearing it upside down there. Is that, or is that just my eyes?
It looks like they might be wearing it upside. Yeah, they are.
That was an
I guess the beauty of that is there's no indices or markers or hands or anything on it, so you can actually set the time whatever way you want at the end of the day and just wear it like it looks at people. I guess you could do that if you want.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Let's just see if anybody's commenting. SJ says that he wears an orange rubber strap on his Panerai for Halloween. So that's another way of doing it. Not buying a specific watch, but dressing it up the watch strap. Okay, let's let's get on to the next one there. I can't go to Mark. Let me go to Patrick. Here you go. This is your one. Whoop, whoop. Seamless transition. This is your one. This is the Lucifer.
Well, see, Quorum makes it so easy because I didn't really have to pick a specific model from the Quorum Bubble line. I could have picked any model because they're all so ungodly ugly that really any of them would qualify. But when I chose Quorum Bubble, then I just put in ugly, and this one came to the top. So it really made it easy. And obviously having a Lucifer theme, I guess, kind of just made it extra special. But all in all, for anyone out there, you know, the Quorum Bubble, it's a kind of a quasi-classic line, and they have a really big bubble dial, and they've got really, really wild dials, and every single one of them. And the only person in this world who I know who I think actually likes them is Federico from Federico Talks Watches. He always says he likes the Quorum Bubble, and I like weird watches, but I don't get it.
Yeah, they've gone all in on the theme, haven't they? They've got the devil himself on the front, and then on the back they've got the symbol as well.
Yeah, it reminds me of the character from Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the bunny mask, the bunny, the demon bunny.
Yeah,
yeah. I think my wife saw the poster for that, and I don't think she slept well for days. So she thought that was a very creepy looking movie.
Yeah, I once did a sales presentation where I used Donnie Darko as the theme, where it's sort of when you're in a room and everybody says that they understand something, but they're only saying it to be polite. I felt like that was like Donnie Darko, where everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I really like that film," but nobody quite knows why they liked it. So, yeah. Anyway, Dave, have you ever owned one of these or seen one?
I've played with bubbles for many years. They're definitely, I would say, start again, use my words. I would say they fall into my kind of like dirty little secret type watch where I shouldn't like it, and it's not pretty by any stretch of the imagination. It's a big watch, it's kind of a bit ungainly, but there's something a wee bit just cool about them, to be honest with you. And there's some truly atrocious collabs and dials they've done as well, some absolutely like ungodly ones. But there's also some pretty cool ones out there as well. And actually, it's just a little bit different because I guess in an age where every watch looks like every other watch, a Quorum Bubble's a Quorum Bubble. It doesn't look like anything else. No one's had most folk have the sense not to copy it, but that then makes it a little bit, I guess, a wee bit different and unusual. So yeah, for a certain extent, they're like a guilty little secret. Never quite pulled the plug because I've just never found the right one.
Yeah.
It'll happen though. It will happen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I do like the crown. The crown is cool.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice. Chili Badger saying Frank the Rabbit. I actually have the outfit. So there you go.
No.
So that must have been it. Must have been the name of the Donnie Darko rabbit was Frank. Let's so we'll skip Mark for a second, and then here we go, Thomas. This is you up next. This is the Louis Vuitton Tambor Carpe Diem.
Yeah, Carpe Diem. Yeah, for 449,000 Swiss francs, I think it is. It's enough to put the shivers up anyone. And yeah, it's got an automated minute hand. The tail points to the minutes, and the snake moves at the head.
Here we go. They've got a video actually
to show the hour.
Let's see if it. Oh, there you go. It's a bit of the design. Oh, is it going to show? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so then the snake moves to show the hour there, and the jaw moves. So
yeah,
not too much automata for 449,000, but a bit novel. And yeah, Louis Vuitton getting into their high horology end, winning GP. Well, I don't know whether they've won a GPHG with it yet, but they're nominated.
Yeah. Because this was this wasn't this year, was it? Did they release this? Oh yeah, 2021. So I wonder if they did actually win it. Would it say here? Maybe not.
Yeah, I've never seen the back of it. I didn't know it had a skull on the back of it as well. But yeah,
the main bridge plate, I think, is a skull, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of an interesting watch. I mean, obviously it's not my style, but I'll give him credit for making something kind of like what Dave was saying. Making something at least unique and weird.
Yeah, and it's bang on the topic, isn't it? It's definitely a Halloween watch. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'd wear it though. I'm not feeling it too much.
To answer your question, I was just trying to think that I'm sure that won the Audacity Prize in 21.
Oh,
Memory. I think that watch won Audacity that year, because I think that year, if I remember rightly, they won 2. They won that for Audacity, and I think they won the Diver's watch as well.
Okay.
Rings a bell, but they have won a few. It's a brand that I actually like. I mean, I'm no Louis Vuitton fan. Their general fashion's not for me, but their high-end watches are extremely good. And I'll say something that seems really silly. Value in relation to what others will charge you for something of the same complication or high complication is actually not ludicrous, whilst being a ludicrously expensive £500,000 watch at the same time, but relative to other brands. And they get a bit of that kind of snobbery that sneaks in because, they're a fashion brand, so it's not a real watch. Well, actually, I think you can argue with these. They're definitely real watches.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're spot on there. Look, great memory. They won the Audacity Prize in 2021. Just seeing if I could notice. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Diver's Watch Prize. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that Diver's watch is actually pretty nice. I saw it in person.
Yeah, and the tambours in real life, the watches, they're really cool because the name comes from the case shape, because it's like a drum, which is where the tambour comes in. But it's a really weird kind of case shape where basically, if you imagine the bottom of the case is bigger than the top of the case, so it's got this kind of like it's like a tambour drum type shape on the case. It's really distinctive, really unique. And when you handle one, if you ever get a chance, it's a really cool piece. The nice thing is you can handle one if you just find your local Louis Vuitton store, and any city's got one. They do a tambour smartwatch. Now, okay, smartwatch, it's a Google whatever it is smartwatch, but it uses the tambour case on it as well. And it's worth just going in and handling one to see the kind of quality of the cases, because they are actually genuinely really nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, great pick there, Thomas. And then I went with. Hang on, I went with. Oh yeah, I had to go with this one, the Jacob & Co. Spider watch. Yeah, even the photos of it look super creepy. I did actually find. It's not a great video, but I found somebody actually looking at it, and it looks horrific. I don't know why they even did it. I can't find one where it actually shows, but apparently the legs of the spider move and everything. So there you go. You can see it on this guy's wrist in the thumbnail there, but it looks just horrific, and it's over $1 million there as well. Wow. I'm not like an arachnophobe, but I think that would definitely creep me out, having something like that on my wrist.
It's verging on kind of like pretty realistic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like too realistic, isn't it? It's not like a cheeky nod, like a cheeky skull or something like that. But yeah, they've handcrafted that spider. But yeah, apparently it's got like hairs and all sorts on it, and the legs are hairy.
Yeah, and stuff. If you're on a night out and you got out your tree, you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and that's still
Exactly. Or somebody sells like a knockoff one where they've just trapped a spider inside a glass dome.
Or
spider with googly eyes.
Or even worse, you leave it on the kitchen counter and the spider-phobic wife hits it with a saucepan. Yeah. Because that's what's likely to happen in my house. That wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, $1 million lost by a slipper slapping it.
Bang, bang, bang. Yep.
Yeah, it's I couldn't I can't there was I don't know if they just made I don't know if this was a piece unique or what, but I could only find that one video showing it, and all the other videos on there were just basically just showing photographs of it. But yeah, that was my pick, was the Jacob and Co. Spider hand. Mark, welcome back. We have got your first one here, which is the Bell and Ross laughing skull.
Oh yes, the Bell and Ross laughing skull. I'd kind of forgotten about these, and when I was challenged with finding Halloween watches, this is one that showed up fairly quickly. Bell and Ross laughing skull. They did a series of these. I don't know if the series is still going. It's a 46mm case, but the skull is individually hand carved. And if you find a picture of it on its back, the actual movement is shaped like a skull as well. So on the back of it, looks.
I wonder if they've got a picture of the back.
It echoes it.
Here they go. Maybe that video will show us. Oh, no, it's not happening. So maybe that is the back. That is the back. No, that's the front.
But the when you wind the watch, the lower jaw goes up and down as if it's laughing.
Yeah.
So that just adds to the joy. I'm not sure it's a watch I'd ever wear, but if you're going to do automata on the front of watches, make it like that. Have a sense of humor. That's 46 mil square. It's not for every wrist, and probably not for every occasion. But I like that one. There's enough care and attention to detail. It has the sense of humor with the laughing skull thing. I like those.
Yeah, I have seen this in person. There's if anybody's in Orlando or Florida, and you happen to be in Orlando, or if you're visiting, the guys over at the Orlando Watch Company have one of these in the display case, and they'll show it to you. It's in Winter Park.
Nice.
Sorry, Patrick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm amazed by the price. I mean, for a relatively modified movement that's in the shape of a skull and has the automata in it, for under 10 grand, that's a pretty good price. I mean, particularly for Bell and Ross, because they're sometimes not the cheapest. So it's not for me, but I have to give them an applaud for keeping it in the sphere of reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick.
And
Mark's right. They did a series of skull watches. They've done a bronze one as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they've done 3 or 4.
I've seen the bronze.
They've got a range called Cyber Skull, and they've done various materials. I think this year's was bronze.
Yeah.
Cool. Great pick. So back round to Dave, G-Shock. Back into the realms of affordability. Well, I guess if you can find one.
Well, I've started my first two. I decided to go with something bearing some sense of reality when it comes to price. But again, I guess for a lot of people, it's Halloween watches are a fun thing, and like sometimes you see all these super high end complications and stuff, and you just think they're so far out of the realms of reality. But most folk like to get into something. So again, G-Shock's another good option, along with the likes of Swatch. Although G-Shock, when they do it, they tend to do it as like a limited edition. They tend to be relatively affordable when they bring them out, typically in the $100 to $200 mark type thing. And this was an absolute banger. I love this one because the little case it comes in is like a big eyeball, and the whole eyeball glows in the dark as well. So it's a really cool little piece of casing on it as well. I think it's a 6900 series, so it's a decent quality little G-Shock. Most folk like them, they can wear them, and they're pretty durable and tough. And that kind of backlighting on it as well. It's just pretty fun. I like it. It's a cool watch.
Yeah, I like it as well. I love these 6900 ones. They're definitely pushing the price limits up, aren't they? Because I noticed that Ed Sheeran one hasn't sold quite as well as I thought it was going to, and they've got another one that's $350. In fact, the Bape 35th anniversary one is going to be $350. So interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess anything they do is a collab. There's more people in it wanting a bit of the cut of the pie at the end of the day, so the price goes up. If you want a basic 6,900, what are they these days? $130, something like that.
Yeah, you can get one for 54. There's one. I think the base one is like 54. It's a great.
I think the super basic one with the non-fancy module in it, but then I think they do a few one with Bluetooth and various other dibs and stuff in them as well. But and the nice thing quite often about these collabs are if you can get one, sometimes when you pick them up, they do tend to, not that you buy watches for this reason as well, but they get really popular. They're really collectible. Folk who get into G-Shock really get into G-Shock and they collect these type of things,
Yeah, I'm a huge G-Shock fan. Huge. It looks like the box had some kind of liquid in it as well. Did it have like liquid in the eyepiece?
It was like you remember, like I don't know what you called it in the States, but the kind of slime they called it here, or the goo.
Yeah. I was going to say the colour of the dial looks just like the colour of that slime, that green slime.
Yeah, really cool.
I must admit, I'd buy that just for the packaging.
Exactly.
And it wouldn't be the first watch I bought for the packaging. I've got a Citizen ProMaster that I bought for the scuba tank. But that's watch packaging I could leave out at Halloween and the wife wouldn't yell at me for. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Awesome. Patrick, you're up next. Is this a fromage? Is this a bit of a homage?
That's kind of why I brought this one up, because just when I was looking for watches,
I'm just looking at Dave dying.
Oh, I know. I mean, I knew Dave was going to be
Dave is dying.
Oh no!
When I knew Dave was going to be on here, it made it even more relevant, because I mean, I love the Konstantin Scheichen watches. I mean, I think they're just fun and everything.
Yeah.
What killed me about this one, which, if you're going to make a homage or a fake or whatever you're going to make, I mean, at least have it make sense. They made the Joker band, they gave it the quasi-Joker face with the clown dots, but also gave it Dracula teeth. So it's just like they took all the different Scheichen watches and kind of put it in one, and it's a mess. So
I'm also trying to work out what's going on with the crowns.
$39, that's impressive.
With the two ears.
What's going on with the crowns? It's like they're not in the middle.
It's
weird. True.
Oh, look, yeah, there it looks like they're not in the middle, but the side looks. Oh, yeah, they are.
They're not in the middle on the side either.
Yeah, still a little off, but oh gosh, that's criminal.
So this is scary on both. You've done a double scare. It's not only a freaky looking watch, but it's also an awful fromage.
Yeah, well, that's what scared me. I mean, I just saw that, and I just had a giant what the hell, and was utterly, in horror, not because of its scariness, but just because of what it represents. I mean,
yeah,
they just completely copied like a masterful watch and just made it into a garbage sandwich. So it pained me to see that, and I wanted to share my pain with your audience, Sam.
Oh well, yeah, I think you've definitely done that. Well, Mark, we'll go to you. Isn't it? I feel like we should buy that to compare it against. Anyway,
I'll take it to Dubai. I'll buy one and take it to Dubai and give it to Dave. Probably not. Okay.
Oh, here you go. James Duffy says, for a scary Halloween, just track up all your watch receipts since last Halloween.
That's not scary. That's just foolish.
Oh dear. There's that great meme. Have you seen the great meme with, is it George Clooney, where it says, if you have 6 watches and you sell 5, if you got 6 watches and sell 5, how many watches have you got left? Or how many watches do you tell your wife you've got left? And it's 62 because you lied about having 5. It was anyway.
True.
It's Mark, you're up next.
Ooh.
So I, not necessarily knowing much about Halloween watches, I was digging around and I'm thinking I'd never heard of Archer before, but I really liked the picture on this one. Just the visuals. It's a little stunner. You want a scary watch? That gets down to the heart of what's scary.
So like
it's just a lovely watch.
ghost skull face in the background.
There's some clever trickery on it in terms of the dial. And they do a lot of these art watches, so I'm going to have to browse a little bit more on their website to see what they do. But if you want a Halloween themed watch or a horror night themed watch, I think this is a good candidate.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a theme of skulls. So that's my second skull watch, and there's at least one more. But yes, it's worth looking further abroad for something that's very different. And that counts to me. That's such a great picture.
I'm going to take a wild guess that this watch probably tanks on the secondary market. So maybe you can find this for like $500 versus $6,500.
Weirdly, this is a brand that's really coming to the fore in the last kind of year or so as well. Some of their current pieces they're using. They've got a watch out for I can't remember what it's for, GPHG or something this year, that's using a thing called nano sapphire, and it's a clear sapphire, or it's a sapphire case that changes the light it changes color like a chameleon depending on the ambient angle of refraction of light through the case. It's unbelievable. Wow. It goes from like green sapphire to rusty orange sapphire depending on the angle of light that cuts through the case. It's unbelievably cool.
So it's not like a mood ring where it changes based on how.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, but I am not on the team of this watch. I mean, those hands are pretty cool, but that case is hideous. That dial is no good. It's a solid thumbs down.
Yeah, I quite like it.
It's something from a heavy metal band, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does.
It's like an album cover of a heavy metal.
It's a Metallica cover from the late 90s. And not wrong with that.
Well, actually, their hands did look like the Metallica M's, didn't they? Which is pretty cool. Yeah. Thomas, you're up next, and this seems to be a theme now. This is actually a legit one.
I mean, we all
Oxford
love
Saturday morning.
I mean, I love Constantine Traken as well, Patrick and Dave, and the first Time Eater I loved they did with Louis Erard. This is the Regulator watch, the Regulator Louis Erard, Constantine Traken collaboration Time Eater. But this is the From Dusk Till Dawn, the second edition of the Time Eater, and I don't like this as much as the first edition because it's just too scary. I find the eye too scary. It's just the bloodshot eye. It's just too much. It's just I wouldn't buy this one as much as I'd like to buy the other one, which is more like a real Constantine Traken Joker.
Yeah.
This is very Halloween-esque, It's,
let's see if they've got a little. See if they got because Mark, they had this at Watch Time, didn't they? Is this the one they had at Watch Time?
Yes. Yeah. There's two very similar ones in this collection. I must admit, I wouldn't have pinned this for a Halloween watch. I mean, I agree it's truly hideous, but this is to me, what you look like on a Saturday morning after a night out in Uxbridge. You've got the bloodshot eyes. You've got the bloodshot eyes, and the lower orifice is what a Vindaloo file with extra chilies takeout does to you. I mean, it's vile.
I think Watch Chris actually might have done a little bit of a video on this on his channel, or a short, like a YouTube short on it. But yeah, that was another great pick. Cool. Michael, our resident, the channel's resident Nixon expert, said that Nixon did a Metallica series a while back. So if anybody, cool. And then we're back round to me, which is actually this is another swatch. So this is similar case to the one that Dave had, except this is more of a sort of a zombie Pennywise clown, I would say. They haven't specifically said it's an it. And obviously the eye makeups are slightly different, but I think I just like it because of that model's wearing it the right way around. So, but it looks like the band's loomed, and then the entire dial is loomed as well, and the eyes. So I think that's a really cool cool design.
Yeah,
That's $130. There you go.
That's great loom. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. That would definitely it's scary in normal light, but it's even a little scarier in the dark. So yeah, that's a fun one.
Mm.
Cool. Dave, we are back round to you, and we have this one's a
What have we
video.
got this time?
This one. I think I might have got there you go. If I click on a photo,
Yeah,
that's better.
There we go.
There
Yeah, Fiona Kruger is like she doesn't do these specifically for Halloween, but she kind of one of her little specialisms is skull watches, and she does it so bloody well. Like they're really nicely proportioned, the quality and everything. She makes very small batches. I think this one she maybe did like 13 pieces, I think it was. A Scottish girl, not from a watch background, from an art background, who basically got into watchmaking by not by mistake, but kind of by happenstance more than anything as well. And some of the stuff she does is just absolutely exceptional. If you like, you're either going to love or hate this kind of aesthetic. There's no middle ground with it. But if you're after that kind of skull type watch, I just think she's done such a great job with it.
Man, she must have a really hard time manufacturing those crystals. Look at all those angles.
Yeah, it's just unbelievably. It's really, really cool. And as I say, proportionally, it's just they're not inexpensive by any stretch. 23,000 Swiss. So they're not inexpensive, but they're also not ludicrous money either compared to what you would be expecting to pay from many of the other brands doing something of this quality.
So is the movement completely custom in there, or
yeah?
Wow.
So she's not in-house because she doesn't class herself as an atelier in the same way as, like a lot of watch brands do. She designs them, and she does all of the kind of cases and the dials, and then she works with some of the smaller French movement manufacturers, and then she'll base it off of the core architecture of an existing high-end movement, but then makes a lot of modifications to suit what she needs to suit out of it as well, which is why you get this kind of balance between a really cool individual piece, but with a price tag that's not absolutely lunacy.
Yeah.
This is more Day of the Dead, Mexico Day of the Dead than Halloween to me. It's definitely got that feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a cool watch.
It's really cool.
Yeah, that's fascinating to know, Dave. Yeah.
And when you see them, and when you see it, like she's super cool. She's so down to earth and so kind of. She's actually really shy. She's doesn't kind of court the limelight at all. But funnily enough, Mark, she'll be at Dubai, so it's always worth saying hello to her because she's lovely.
I met her at Horrorlogical Forum 8 in New York last year. Really nice person to talk to.
Yeah, just really underrates what she can do herself. Very self-deprecating, but she's some super cool watches.
Oh yeah,
awesome. And then Patrick, Uranus.
It's just so ugly. I just I couldn't resist. So it scared me somewhere in my dregs of looking for something ugly, and I was just trying to figure out what, if you zoom in a little bit, not only does it have numbers, but it has like symbols above the numbers.
Oh, like really calculator. LED calculator.
That's kind of what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, I don't even know what this watch is. So it just caught my eye, and it kind of scared me a little bit. So it's probably not the most Halloween themed, but it went on the scary theme because it just doesn't look like a good watch to me.
No, I wonder if those buttons correspond. The buttons must correspond to how you do a calculation on there.
Yeah, so I guess it is LED calculator. So yeah, I guess I didn't even realize that it had the word calculator in the title. So I guess it is somewhat of a calculator watch.
Oh, so this looks like it's a website specializing in LED watches.
Yeah, it looks like they got a nice casket homage in there as well.
Oh, yeah. It's a little write-ups.
The top of it looks a bit like a beer bottle lid that had been turned upside down.
Oh, yeah, it does.
I'm just trying to figure out what those really, really large. I mean, are those buttons that?
These must be buttons. Yeah, I'm sure of it. And then you must do a combination to do a calculation, surely.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I was like, man, that is definitely something unique. So it caught my attention.
That's horrific.
And if they wanted to make it worse, they could do what Hewlett Packard used to do with their calculators and put in reverse Polish notation on the buttons, so you'd never figure out how to do a calculation. No, stop! It's awful.
Awesome. Let's go next up. We are back round to Mark. Here you go. This is your one. And it's out of stock, so unfortunately we can't buy it.
It's apparently out of stock everywhere, and the manufacturer has apparently discontinued it. This is the Montegrappa something or other. Not only does it have the skull and the Roman numerals, and that's probably the only time they fit together properly, because it's truly awful. It's also 54 millimeters across. Words fail me. If I wanted to find something more terrible, I would struggle. But yeah, that's truly a watch for the dedicated. We were trying to work out if this is the same company that make very fine fountain pens, and I just hope it isn't. It is.
It is.
Oh,
it is.
I'm so disappointed because kiss your reputation goodbye, guys. At that point.
Yeah, because the fountain pen company, it looks like it is. Yeah, to your point, Dave, it looks like the logos look very similar.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the same company.
Wow.
And they do make a very nice pen.
They do. Apparently, they make a very nice pen. Many people have said that, but they don't make a good watch. They do not make a good watch.
They also make some truly horrific pens. It has been said to make a very nice quality pen, but their designs somewhat are challenging. We'll go with challenging.
I mean, this is the watch that makes you glad that Mont Blanc, who also make very fine pens, but they make so much better watches. Why couldn't you have taken a leaf out of Mont Blanc's book, not Invictus? Come on, guys. Yeah. Wrong idea.
This is your stage up from Invicta, isn't it? This is somebody who's got a little bit of money. And what's horrific to me about this is that I'm a huge fan of the date, but they couldn't have made that date look any worse, could they? On there, they've amputated the Roman numerals to sandwich in a round date, which looks very weird.
I was struggling for inspiration, and for some reason I forget what I typed in. It might have been zombie watch or skull watch, and this came up, and I just had to present it to the world just to share the pain. terrible thing.
Awesome. Okay, we have got Thomas, you are up next, and this is your Chapard.
Oh, the LEC. This is the Skull One Calavera pop art. Yeah, I really like the pop art design on this one. It's really nice and colourful, a bit Roy Lichtenstein-esque. Well, not quite Roy Lichtenstein, but going in that direction.
Yeah, it's got the Lichtenstein kind of. You're right. It's got the kind of the bang at the outer with the dots, similar.
Yeah, it's using a really good LUC movement as well. It's 9 millimeters thick. As I say, using a really good LUC caliber.
I wonder how much it is. Does it? It won't probably say on their website, will it?
What is? Sorry,
I was just wondering how much it was.
I don't know exactly.
Let's see if they got one on there. Not that I'm going to buy it, but if they got one on Chrono.
I rather like it. I do like the design.
Oh,
I think I'd have to pluck up a lot of courage to wear it, but I do like it.
Yeah, they actually haven't got one on Chrono, so maybe that was one to jump onto at the time.
I think there was a 25-piece limited edition, that one.
Oh, well.
So
then I probably can't afford it.
For 20s, 30,000 bracket.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, good pick. Cool.
There's a skull theme. I mean, we can't avoid skulls in these Halloween watches, unfortunately.
No, and the only person who is not enjoying this is James Duffy, who says that he grew up with sclerophobia, and only recently got over it. Not ready to have a skull on my wrist yet. So sorry. Thank you, James, for sticking in there with your and congratulations from getting over your sclerophobia.
Well, you'll be surprised. I found out how much it costs, and it surprised me. It is under 10. It's under $10,000 US.
Oh, really?
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, they've done a version this year that's just a kind of like a ghosted out version, so all kind of greys and blacks. They've done 100 pieces of it, and it's $9,780 US.
Yeah,
right. Micro rotor movement, nice LUC. It's basically the same, but it's in this kind of grey and black they've done it this time. So
yeah,
it's all right. It's not stupid.
I think there was a picture of it when Sam was showing the blue ones. If you scroll down, there was a picture of the grayed out one. I think it needs the punch of the blue
color. Yeah.
It needs the punch of the blue. But they are very, very good watches. I like them.
Oh, so Dave, this is the one.
Yeah.
This one is the new version. Is it the green?
No, there's one that's all just greyed and blacked out. It's a kind of stealthy looking version of it as well.
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah.
There's that one that Time Teller doesn't like. Let's see all watches. If I can't find it within a couple of seconds, I'll jump off it. We've gone off it. We'll move on. Cool. So next up, actually, I added this to my list, but this was the watch that kicked off the whole subject, wasn't it, Thomas? So rather than me steal your glory on this one, do you want to talk us through this one?
Yeah, this 50 Phantoms. It's a second collaboration with Spinnaker. They're called the 50 Phantoms, and I thought it was hilarious. It really made me laugh. The 50 Fathom, a spin on the 50 Fathoms, of course, and it's got 50 little ghosts on the dial, and they launched. It was $445. They made 670 of them, and it launched on Friday. And a friend of mine was in the queue for these. Got an email registered for the email to buy one. He put one in his cart on Friday. 2 minutes later, he paid for it, and it was said it was sold out. So people were buying multiple. And there's now one on eBay for £5,600. So it's gone from $445 to £5,600 on eBay.
That's amazing.
Apparently Spinnaker recalling them, and they're not delivering them to people who are listing them on eBay.
Oh, really? That's interesting, because I've done a lot of Spinnaker reviews and Spinnaker and Aviator, the same company, and they do a lot of these limited edition type of watches. So I bet they were even surprised by selling out that fast.
To be fair, though, I think Second has got, that's where the popularity's come from, because he's done so many kind of cool collabs, and he's very much of the moment. And I think that's what's really boosted the value of these things as well, because as I say, he's very much caught the eye, and he's done some collabs with ultra high-end brands as well. So fair play to him.
Oh, so this is the first time that is accessible, perhaps, that one of his collabs.
He's done a couple of. He's done a few of what you would describe. This is probably towards the very affordable end of what he's done. But he's done a Timex as well. He did a collab with Timex only in the last 2 weeks as well. Yeah, and he's done with Bamford. He's done with all sorts of brands, to be honest. But yeah, he did a Timex one as well. But yeah, he's very much. He's done one. In fact, he did one with Moser. He did a perpetual calendar with Moser. So you're talking from $100 to $100,000. He's done collabs with. He's someone who very much likes to kind of poke the side of the seriousness of the watch industry, shall we say.
And he's very much of the moment, isn't he? Is that the last 12 months has been all second.
He's been on the scene for a while, though. What he started off doing was you could send him any watch you owned, and he started off by typically changing either the second, the minute, or the hour hand, and he would do something just really stupid. So folk would be sending him things like vintage Pateks, and he'd change the minute hand to like pardon my French, but like a cock and balls or something really stupid like that, and he would just put something completely irreverent onto these really nice vintage kind of watches. He did a lot with Rolexes, and he would have a beautiful little presentation, and he'd send you back an original hand so it could be converted back the way, you know, it wasn't like a dial conversion. He literally just
wasn't
changed
permanent vandalism.
Exactly, yeah, but it was enough to just have a bit of a poke in the side of the ribs. So he's done some really cool things, and he's been doing that for don't know if it's quite 10 years, but it's been a while anyway.
Yeah, so I know exactly who he is now because Watch Chris reviewed one of these. They did a Timex with this fist, and then there's one that's like got a plastic straw.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a burger.
Yeah.
And
even if you just look on Secon's website at the kits he does, because you can buy kits from him, so you don't even need to send him your watch. He does a variety of different kits of various hands, and you can buy those from him and just take them to your local watchmaker and get him to change the hands on it for you.
I vandalized the products because I failed at building mine. Oh, look at there you go. The Patek. Oh, they're Minecraft.
Yep. He does all sorts of different things. Not legit.
He's brilliant. I love him. He's
did Nevada
Greg comes in a little vial. It's like a little test tube vial that comes on, and it's just got the hand in it.
Yeah, because did Nevada Grenkin do something?
Who was that? Sorry,
Nevada Grenkin. Did they do something with them?
I think they have done something as well, and I don't think his little kits are particularly expensive either.
Oh, there you go, slap. Oh yeah, that was what Sam was just mentioning in the chat there. Villa Murray. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, someone in the comments, I think it's Chuck Pease, put he's a bit gimmicky. Yeah, to be fair, you know, he's got popular. So, but back in the day when he was just doing these little kits, you rarely saw them, and when someone did see them, folk were like, "Oh God, what's that all about?" You know, they're good fun. I think the beauty of it is you can do something really stupid if you want to, and you're not doing any kind of real damage to your watch.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, we are back round. We're actually back round to you, Dave, and this is the a proper another Konstantin Chaikin, but a proper one.
Yeah, which is appropriately named, I guess, the Halloween. So this was the kind of Halloween pumpkin that he did. This was done, I think this was done as a piece unique. So it was a one-off that he did of it, but just super cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. Got the colours and everything in like a bronze case, maybe?
Yeah, it's a bronze case on this one as well. And it's the cutouts, like the little where the playing card would be traditionally on the Joker watch. It spells out Halloween round the kind of bezel on there as well. So yeah, just it's based. Fundamentally, it's the same as the Joker watch. It's just got that different dial on there. So you've got the kind of classic triangular eye cutout that you would get in your pumpkin. You've got the kind of goofy teeth going on there. You've got your minutes and seconds as you would, and you've got the moon phase on there. But yeah, it's just it's just a cool watch. If there's a picture of the case back as well, I think on there as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah, you're right. There was one. Let me just get to it.
There you
go.
There you go. Yeah. So just your Halloween,
Awesome.
It's brilliant, David. I love it. I love Konstantin Chaikin. I met him at HCI show in Geneva, and he's such a great, charismatic guy.
The quality in the dials is unbelievable as well. When you see that, because it's all geoshade the dials as well, which is what a lot of folk maybe miss when you first see them, because they just see the kind of, I guess, smack in your face aesthetic or the colours and things like that. But in fact, let's see if I can show it.
My hope of hopes is that he's been making watches for every lunar calendar year. I hope he makes one for the dragon.
Yeah, so you can see there.
That's beautiful.
And the other thing about the pumpkin watch, the patina on bronze actually suited the watch. Most of the time, patina, you go, I wish it didn't. But on that pumpkin watch, the patina on the bronze just made it so much more special to look at.
Yeah, they're so cool, those watches, aren't they?
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah, they're different. And the crowns are actually in the middle. Look at that. Who would have thought?
There we go. We started crown gates out. That was a great pick. So it looks
your moon phase works.
So, Patrick, this is your last one, and this looks like another homage. This is a homage to the Bell and Ross that you picked.
Well, this is not so much a homage. This is probably the leader of the pack. But I have to give this one some credit because my favorite artist in the world, just because of his weirdness and sort of humbleness, is Post Malone. If you've ever seen a video of Post Malone in concert, I mean, you just want to get up and give this crazy man a hug. He is just so normal. I mean, he walks out into a concert wearing just a white t-shirt and jorts. And I mean, he looks like he didn't do anything but wake up from a nap and just be like, yeah, let's go sing. But he owns a $1 million Richard Mille skeleton, animatronic, tourbillon, everything. And I think he bought it during his flashy days. I think he's kind of become a bit more not so flashy. But whenever I see this watch, I just think of him. And as I said, he's doing superstardom at least right, as far as I know. He's not a big drug addict. He's not, so sad because he's got so much that he's spoiled. He just seems like he's a good guy. So Post Malone, if you're out there, I love you.
Yeah, I saw him in the concert the other day where he went down. He's chatting to a woman, and she handed him some Converse and said, "Can I swap you?" So he took his Converse off, and they swapped. So she got like a pair of, concert worn Post Malone Converse. Yeah, this was a good pick. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, it's a little crazy, and I mean, is it worth $1 million price tag? Absolutely not. I mean, I think Richard Milles are just completely overrated. But as I said, for this one at least, I like it a little bit just because I know it's got a Post Malone story to it. But the watch itself, no thanks. Post Malone, yes.
Yeah, awesome. So Thomas, your last pick, and this is somebody, I think Sam might have mentioned this in the chat as well. So here you go, Sam. But this is the H1 HYT.
Yeah, the HYT. This is got the bellows underneath the skull, just in the mouth, and it's pumping liquid all around the skull to tell the time. And you can see it's now telling the time of what's it, 10, half past 10?
Yeah.
10:30, yeah.
Yeah.
10 past 10. So it's siphoning the liquid down a little so rivets to the numbers. And I love HYT. I love the HYT for that mechanism they use, the liquid mechanism, and the way the bellows move down and pump. And I thought it was a funky sort of Halloween themed skull watch. Again, skulls are not appearing on most watches, and I thought this was one of the nicer ones of the lot.
Yeah. Do they make this in a non-mother of pearl? I feel like I've seen it, but I've never seen.
Yeah, they have made non-mother of pearl. You're right, Patrick. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, that's I mean, with mother of pearl on this watch. That's quite an eye catcher. I mean, it's just like wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mark, they were at Watch Time, weren't they? I didn't get to play with one, but I saw one in the case. They're not massive, are they? I was expecting them to be like monstrously big. They're not too.
I don't recall seeing them in detail, Sam, but if, maybe when Nicholas gets around to doing Mother of Pearl again, he can do something that looks a bit like this. Nicholas Bowman Scargill from Fears.
Yes.
I don't know he needs to go all the way with the mechanism, but if he ever wanted a Halloween watch, he knows how to do Mother of Pearl now.
Yeah.
The thing that'd give you the biggest scare about that watch is the repair bill you'll get every 90 days.
Yes.
Because I think I never heard about these watches until it was on Joe Rogan, wasn't it? The guy, I forget the name of the guy who does the car show, but he has one of these. He was telling Joe Rogan about the crazy watches, and they were talking about these a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Tim also had a little bit of love with him for a while back, but then I think when they started to go under, Tim sort of dropped them and hasn't brought them back since they rebranded.
Yeah, they're a company that the concept is amazing. The reality is somewhat different because it's such a delicate mechanism ultimately in them, that they are very susceptible to knocks, bumps, generally just coming out of kind of phase. So, and the early ones were huge, and the early ones were massively overly technical in terms of it was all this kind of mechanical hydro combination for hours, minutes. Since they actually went bust as a company, there was 2 divisions of them. There was the company part, the engineering part that owned the science and the fluids, and then there was a watch division. Since they came back, they've simplified them a little bit. They made them a little bit smaller, and they're a wee bit more, I wouldn't say attainable because they're still ludicrously expensive, but they're a bit more stable now than they used to be. But it's cool. Someone's doing something different.
Yeah, great pick.
Microfluid mechanics are never easy.
No.
We need that is that a new merch t-shirt idea?
Probably that one's not going to sell very well.
Well, I had the last pick, and I picked one that wasn't a Halloween specific, but I think it was a nightmare that every glycine fan had when the company was bought out, and that nightmare might have come to a reality, which is the Invicta X glycine. So
my Jesus.
Yeah, the synergy of the 2 brands has come together, and wow. And I'm not really an Invicta hater because I do think the ProMaster is one of the best mechanical watches you can get in that price range. But yeah, seeing the collab, I wonder what the diehard glycine fans think of.
Wonder where they get that idea from, eh? Anyone any ideas?
I had never heard about this, and I am sadder for now knowing, because old neo vintage glycines, they're pretty cool, and this hurts me a little bit.
The Erm is a cool watch, or was a cool watch.
Yes, it was. The good thing with this as well is you don't have to pick a color, because if you buy one, you get all the others for free.
Harsh but fair.
I really like the old glycines, the Airmans and the things like that. Lovely. And I was quite surprised to know they've been bought out by Invicta.
I mean, give Invicta credit; they did kind of save them, I think, from a potential bankruptcy. But I think the fear at the time was that what would Invicta do? And I think Invicta largely left them alone, didn't they? I think they kind of left them to do their own thing. Whereas it looks like now,
it's one of those. We've bought you. We'll leave you alone. If our funding can help you, we'll leave you alone. Oh, you're not succeeding, then we're going to mess with you. That sounds like the business process.
Yeah. I wonder if they're on. I've seen how much it was, but it's they're not going. But they're not on there. That Invicta Pro Diver. This is if anybody's getting into mechanical watches or wants to buy a mechanical watch for somebody that's not into watches, you can't go wrong with the old Pro Diver. Bit of a fromage.
That's cheap,
and it's got an NH35A movement in the bloody rock solid as well. Is this one is this one a mechanical? No, this one's a quartz, but they do it. They do a mechanical one for $80, I think. The old. Oh, actually, whoa! There it was. I just saw it. Oh no, that's just a similar one, but that looks similar to that glycine. $69. There you go. There you go. So that was the bombshell to leave on. What was that, Thomas?
Going out in the slump of a crest there, Sam.
Awesome. Well, that was a great show. Thank you for everyone who sent your picks through in the chat. That was a great pick from the audience. Bang on the subject. We did have a lot more as well, but I think those are the cream. Perhaps maybe not. Maybe the ending was a bit dodgy. Thank you for everyone for watching. A big thanks to the panel, and we'll see you all next time on Casual Watch Talk. Thanks, everyone.
Don't forget to vote.